welcome back to another raw EDC video. Today I'm going to be looking at an item that I've been trying to get through for some time. I ordered one from eBay and sadly there was manufacturing issues with it, and then I found one on AliExpress where I've ordered this one. Not an expensive piece of equipment, but might be quite handy. So this is the Gas Station T2 from Campingmoon. There's a few different manufacturers of the same thing, and what this item does is it allows you to split one standard gas cylinder, a screw-on fitting, to two standard gas fittings. Now it certainly shows this on their website, or on their sales page I should say, showing with two lamps fitted to it. And I thought to it, well, maybe that's because you won't get enough pressure from it. Once it gets a little bit sort of more empty, that's fine. It might get a little less pressure. However, I thought I would give it a test today with the Trangia with its gas fitting and the Robens stove with its gas fitting. What it does actually is quite straightforward. You screw it on as you would with any other gas implement to your gas cylinder. And there we go, that's it fitted. And of course no gas escapes because there's two valves inside. I'll put some close-up shots in on the video as well. Let me get my stoves fitted together with their gas adapters and we'll have a bash at boiling some water in the kettles. Okay, so I have to admit that wasn't quite as easy as I thought. Actually screwing on these onto the end of the gas adapter is a little bit tricky because obviously the whole thing has to rotate as you're putting it on. But all that I did was I removed the windshields and I just worked my way round, just turning it and allowing this whole unit to turn. So a little bit of a setup there before you actually put it together, but for all intents and purposes, I do have this set up, splitting the two. I have actually run it, and I can hear the gas coming through on both. So in principle, this should operate fine. And I think if you were setting up for a multiple day camp or something like that, then this wouldn't be a bad idea if you wanted to just take one gas canister with you, one gas cylinder. I do have another gas stove I can test this with as well, so I might do that as well. But what we're going to do is our little experiment with a couple of kettles of water. So I'm going to do that. Fine, I've got 600 mils of water here. I'm going to dispense into each of these kettles 300 mils roughly and see how long it takes us to get to a rolling boil. Just make sure I do this reasonably evenly. Highly scientific experiment, of course. So that's 300 in each. The lid's on. Give us that little bit of extra heat. Lock it in. And we'll start off with this one. Okay. Going fine. I'd probably have it a little bit more fierce than that, but let's just see how we get on splitting it. There is the Trangia going as well. Let's get the kettle on there. Get that up to, wow, they're just cracked on running well. Now I decided not to use the microphone just now because of the noise of these two, so hopefully you can hear me over it. And there we have it. Both are boiling away quite furiously. I think I'll just turn down the Trangia there. A nice rolling boil on that. Oh yes, and this one on the Robens as well. Doing quite well. That didn't take long at all. So really we're looking at a couple of cups of coffee there in each one in no time. But the experiment wasn't to see how quickly we could boil in each, but indeed if both would burn equally and evenly. I really just had these open a little crack. There was not much in it at all, and the cylinder quite happy to deliver. Now what I will do is I might go and get a smaller canister or even one that's more sort of empty than this one and see that it's still fit to deliver. In fact, I have got one here that would do the job fine. So this one is almost done and it's tiny. So let's just do this live. Closed off these. Looks good. Put this to the side. So here we have another cylinder. Now this one, if I remember correctly, is quite, yeah, there is still gas in it, but there's not an awful lot. So I would think that the pressure on this one would be a little bit lower. That's it, catching the thread now. Screw that on, turn this gas on. And there it is. And this one on too. And both going fine. Both roaring away beautifully there. Absolutely fantastic. I'm quite delighted with that. So that gives you quite a decent setup, even off a smaller cylinder which has got a little bit less gas in it. So I would say that's a successful test. I'm happy enough with that. I'll do some close-up shots and put them into the video as well. Thank you very much for joining me for another raw EDC video. I'm looking to do a few more reviews in the future, and I also have ideas for a logo. If you've got any ideas for me, put them in the comments and I'll maybe incorporate them in. As always, thank you very much for watching.